Guys, it is spooky season. So I think the best thing I could do for spooky season is bring you guys the last two parts of SCP-610, The Flesh That Hates, Part 3 and Part 4, which is the final. I know it's been a minute. I know there were only 4 parts. I don't know why long ago I didn't just end up finishing them, but I don't remember what happened in the last parts, but that's what I think is fun. I think this will jog my memory. I was going to go back and watch them, but let me see if I could just get caught up. I think the earliest thing I can remember was a town or something that was just becoming one gluttonous mass of flesh. But that's it. That's the earliest thing. Anyways, other than that, don't worry. I'm gonna get something created where I can start funneling reaction requests. But again, take it from people who DM me them. That's the easiest way to get reactions to me or requests to me and everything. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm just feeling really good, kind of hype. But yeah, man, thank you guys for tapping into the frequency. Remember to authentically love yourself and be yourself. Remember to spread love. And let's hop in. Let's go. Shout out to Mr. Illustrated, by the way, as well. Let's go. All right, here we go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to part 3 of SCP-610. If you've not seen part 1 and 2, please do so before watching this, or else you're not really going to understand it. You can find the links below in the description, in the video cards, and also the suggested videos. You can also find a playlist of all the parts on the channel. Without further ado, let's get straight into this.
Right.
SCP-610-L4. Events regarding the discovery, research, and handling of SCP-610 rapidly degraded to a point where fail-safe options were being considered. For over 1 hour, nothing further had happened at Site A following the loss of the research teams during the seismic events in SCP-610-L3 and subsequent contact with previously unseen 610 lifeforms. With the absence of activity at Site A, a remote drone dispatch was authorized in 2 parts. The first part would drop a remote relay device at the entrance to Site A's sinkhole, and the second part would dispatch a drone into the hole directly to relay its data to the remote relay for transmission back to HQ.
Okay. I had to just turn down my air purifier, but let's keep going.
Drones on site were powered by solar energy with a battery maintaining a 4-hour charge. Attached is the video log recovered from the Site A sinkhole drone before its loss.
No, not in the first minute. My ability is called instant death to any target I look at. English dubs, man. All right, let's go.
Video feed activate. Researcher's face is seen looking into camera, applying a polishing cloth to the lens. This is explorative drone RSCP-610-1 coming online. Systems check out. Video confirmed. Feed is good to relay station. We're testing rotors now and deploying if successful. The sound of a helicopter blade starts up as video feed begins to lift in the air. Camera tilts left and right to test pan features, then directs itself towards the Site A sinkhole. Video feed is go, engines are go. Links are green. Alright, sending down the drone now. Audio from the outside world fades away as camera angles itself down and peers into the darkness within the sinkhole. After approximately 2 minutes of descent, lights on the drone activate and illuminate a roughly dug shaft. Initially, it is unclear what could have created the hole, but at a glance, it would appear the shaft was created by a single event rather than dug over time. At 15 meters descent, there are traces of SCP-610 material attached to the dirt and stuck to rocks. The material is dormant but retains its texture and appearance, unlike samples from above ground level which shrivel and dry rapidly. There is a possible connection with this material and the events last recorded during SCP-610-L3. Descent continues. At 100 meters in depth, branch tunnels become visible in the walls and the sinkhole. Panning of the camera reveals small tunnels branching out at apparently random intervals, but which are not restricted to any of the side of the hole. These tunnels are considered too small for any useful exploration to occur. Descent continues. Increase in density of SCP-610 materials on walls is noted as depth increases. At 250 meters, the bottom of the sinkhole becomes visible, and the tunnel slopes sharply, suggesting unnatural formation, which was already suspected. Drone video shifts to illuminate the tunnel, and drone proceeds further through the area. SCP-610 coats entirety of the tunnel now, and care is taken to keep the drone from coming in contact with any surface.
of course you have to use a drone for this, because if I remember, this stuff, it like consumes, right? And is it a hive mind too? I can't remember, but dude, imagine having to go in. Like, imagine being like a ground team that had to go in, but I'm pretty sure in the previous ground team episodes, they were demolished. I'm pretty sure they were ran through by the flesh. That's a funny it's a funny statement.
Movement is detected 5 meters ahead. Lights on the drone are dimmed and weapons come online.
Ooh.
The SCP-610 drone is equipped with a 5.56mm machine gun containing 50 rounds of ammo.
I feel like
This is meant to be used to deter wildlife away from the drone and defend against aggression when possible, rather than to dispatch a target, although it is fully capable of handling human aggressors in small groups.
That's what I thought. I was like 5.56. I mean, anything that's anomalous in the SCP universe, I feel like you just need something that could also be anomalous against it, dude. I feel like regular ammunition doesn't work for any SCP, unless stated so, dude.
Camera focus turns to the moving mass of flesh ahead of it at 3 meters. After focus clears, the movement appears to be coming from what appears to be a deer, uninfected, wriggling in the grips of tendrils composed of SCP-610 material. The deer is being suspended above the ground with unclear intent. The drone is moved past the trap
With unclear intent?
deer while holding it in view of the camera until safely away. Nothing occurs with the deer and the drone proceeds past undisturbed. The previously fairly level ground of the tunnel displays large humps in apparently random placement 5 meters ahead of the drone, 30 meters past
The deer, we're gonna have to look at this drawing of the deer. By the way, I want to say the drawings are awesome, but man, a lot better than anything I could do. Dude, first of all, the deer's just the unlucky casualty. I love how he described also that the drone is equipped with things to handle or scare away wildlife and stuff, and then the next thing we get in the writing is the deer being attached to the ceiling like a tumor. That this is like such a grotesque thing when I think about the flesh that, like, what it was doing in the last episodes.
the encountered deer. Upon approach, these lumps turn out to be similar to the infected villagers who escaped from Site A into the sinkhole after the destruction of Site C. The sound of rushing water is now detected, and the drone is pushed forward. 100 meters further into the tunnel, and the sound of running water is now deafening. Drone lights reveal a running stream of water, potentially from one of the adjacent rivers in the area.
I hate to look at that deer, dude. I think I'm gonna use that for the thumbnail, dude.
A sample vial is placed in the water, allowed to collect, and then released with an active tracking beacon. Later recovery of this sample indicates no SCP-610 contamination of groundwater. The tunnel splits in two at this point. One tunnel leads around the river and then seems to slope downward, while the other is directly above a light source in the ceiling. The second one is selected to facilitate recovery of the drone. During adjustment of the drone's flight path, it comes in contact with a portion of the tunnel wall coated in 610, causing a deep gash from the propeller of the drone, which is already healing over before the camera focuses on the impact point. The drone proceeds upwards. 300 meters of upwards travel taking approximately 45 minutes results in the drone emerging into a windy section of mountain where it is directed to stay low. Camera panning of the area reveals that it may have once been a village, long since abandoned. The precise location is unclear, but it is assumed to be in the vicinity of Site B, judging from estimates in travel by the drone. The buildings here are coated in deceased layers of SCP-610, and unlike other buildings in Site A and Site C which were coated in 610, these buildings appear to be constructed directly from the tissue substance.
Bro.
After a cursory scan of Site B, it is determined that there is no life here, either natural or 610 related, so the drone is directed back into the tunnel, as the winds around the area make area recovery impossible.
Bro.
Upon descent into the tunnel, a deep roaring sound fills the audio, and video feed becomes choppy as something blocks the signal. During the periods in which the connection to the drone is clearest, its camera and weapon are angled downwards, and propellers slow in speed to allow a faster drop. Video feed becomes entirely clear for the final 2 minutes before feed is lost. Rushing up towards the drone from the area below is what appears to be a large human face, stretched to 20 times its proportions with no features, save those created by the 610 material.
Ooh.
There are eye sockets but no eyes, a mouth but no teeth. The drone...
See, this is what made Slenderman, to me, an image I just could not get out of my head for a while. I think any type of doppelganger or type of creature, if you know what I'm talking about when I say like doppelganger, or like the ones that can like switch form, or any entity, no matter their abilities, that have like sunken sockets, like just have impressions where certain facial features should be. That is just man. I think about Imagine Dragons wake up video, like ooh, and just the no face thing.
Drone fires upon the rushing
Weird.
mass of 610, but the bullets do not deter it, impact points remaining visible for several seconds before closing over themselves. There is no room in the tunnel for the drone to take evasive action, and it is swallowed by the mass. SCP-610 is considered lost until 3 hours later when feed inexplicably returns. Video feed from the drone appears to show a series of structures illuminated by one or two of the drone lights. The camera pans round without instructions from the remote relays or HQ, capturing a vast number of shambling entities within the area. SCP-610 material moves over the lens of the drone and the video feed is permanently severed.
Nah, like, see, nuke it, bro. Nuke it. Fire. Everything. Everything, dude. Like, everything. All right, here we go.
Exploration was approved. Results are in document SCP-610-L5. SCP-610-L5. Approval from Central HQ was granted for a manned assault excursion into the tunnels beneath Site A to try to ascertain the extent of the SCP-610 infection. The destruction of Site A and Site C have established SCP-610 can be contained and destroyed, making the source of the infection top priority. The initial descent into the tunnels consists of 5 teams, 2 research and 3 assault, along with enough equipment to establish an underground base of operations.
I'm sorry. You have to be like I have to like hang on to assemble a no. Not in this place. You could never catch me doing this. The flesh can just summon a face that's as big as the tunnel itself to
Descent into the tunnels was established using pulley systems and a lift to move equipment. Assault teams were the first to descend, armed with flame units to clean SCP-610 out of the area. All teams were able to descend without incident, and flame units took point, providing an undisturbed journey towards the water source where the SCP-610 drone was lost.
Yeah. This is gonna go so well. I'm glad they got flame and stuff, but this just, you couldn't pay me enough to descend the tunnel, no matter if living, yeah, but unliving material, organic, whatever material from this creature, not a chance.
For underground
bro.
SCP-610 operation resides at the bottom of a freeway junction, 4 if the water flow is included. The first pathway is that leads from Site A to Cavern HQ. The second is the pathway to the ruined village residing in the mountains above, where SCP-610 was destroyed by a large unknown 610 entity. The third pathway leads west and seems to follow the flow of water for an unknown distance. The cavern area here is quite large and is supported by a number of rock formations that are coated with the decayed 610 material. Yeah, the decayed material. You couldn't catch me thinking that stuff was decayed at all. I wouldn't be a part of this mission. I'd be too paranoid. But I don't care if you're telling me it's decayed, neutralized. No, get the hell out of here. The state of this material suggests great age and appears to reinforce the structural supports. Whether or not this is intentional or coincidental is unknown. It's intentional. Safe bet. The 2 research teams split activities between building Cavern HQ and collecting samples of 610 in various states. No contagious material were detected within the area, and the creature recorded by unmanned drones did not appear at any point to the cavern staff. Of the 4 research teams, 3 were ordered to proceed down the unexplored pathway, while an aerial drone was prepped for second recon of the vertical shaft. Yeah. SCP-610 infection did not appear in the third pathway until approximately 3 kilometers, and serious infection did not appear until 16 kilometers in. Even after the lengths traveled by the assault team, no 610 infectious life forms
dude, I hate this image.
Were encountered, and the fleshy material coating the cavern walls posed no threat.
Oh my gosh, my imagination is so strong, so I'm just imagining actually cutting off fleshy stalagmites, or are these stalactites? Stalagmites are the one on the bottom or the top? Well, stalag whatever. This is stalag flesh. You can't catch me. You can't catch me doing this.
The team. The most significant reports at this time were the increase in thickness of material, suggesting a source, and the complete
It's animated in my head, bro.
lack of 610 contamination in the water. As a test,
Nasty.
a sample of 610 was cut away from the cavern wall and placed in the flow of water. It exhibited no unusual reactions but was quickly swept away by the current. At 20 kilometers in, the leader of the assault teams requested a transport buggy to be dispatched to them. One was available at the above ground HQ, however it would take time to move it to the cavern HQ and then remote drive it to the teams. Rations provided to the assault teams were sufficient, so a camp was established while the buggy was moved and readied. During this time, an aerial drone was also sent to explore the vertical shaft. The results of this exploration were placed on hold with the arrival of the buggy at Cavern HQ and ultimately concluded in document. The buggy was navigated to the assault team encampment with no events en route. However, upon arrival and preparation to continue the exploration, the assault teams came under attack by a number of large SCP-610 infected lifeforms that emerged from the area ahead of them. Video recovered from assault team cameras shows them caught off guard as the 610 infected made no sound and were undetectable.
See, that makes sense to me. Like, they rolled a natural 20 when it came to sneaking or stealth. They rolled a stealth check. No, but in all seriousness, that makes sense to me. They're literally in their domain expansion. Like, SCP-610, I never even thought about that a long time ago, but this is like 610's domain expansion. Why would you be in a cave coded in this shit? Like, I almost imagine that they would come, like, they could move throughout the flesh on the wall, like some sort of like makes me think of like a teleport in like Mortal Kombat. Oh, I just took it down. Okay, like a teleport in Mortal Kombat, or I don't know what game it is where there's a teleport where they're like still, it's like almost like noobs teleport. I don't know, that was just a random thought, but essentially, like, I'd imagine they just would come out the walls. That's how they can move silently. Like, they can keep their form and just move across the flesh and then reformulate into the frame.
On one film, for 1 or 2 seconds, it appears that some of the creatures are coming out of the 610 materials on the wall.
What did I tell you? Come on. This guy right here. I would be so prepped for this. I've watched too much stuff. My imagination is wild. I would already know. I would already deduct what's going on in this situation and bounce.
It's emerging from them so much as being created by the material and then breaking away to act independently.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
During the assault, in an attempt to protect the buggy, members were lost to the water currents and contact with them was lost. Contact was regained, however, and is recorded in SCP-610-L6.
Oh my gosh.
The remainder of the assault team now consisted of 3 members, armed with a single flame unit. Use of this unit to repel the creatures proved vital.
No, not a single flame unit? No.
As standard firearms did minimal damage to the infected creatures. These infected creatures showed minimal traits to associate them with any known life form in the region, giving rise to the belief that they may have been spawned by the 610 infection itself as a form of defense. No further casualties were suffered during the raid, and the remaining members managed to eliminate all attacking infected, allowing them to continue with exploration with added orders to attempt to locate lost team members.
But I mean, at the same time,
a further 20 kilometers into the tunnel, and the river separated from the tunnel pathway, and the team was instructed to abandon the recovery order, given the inability to navigate water safely. A total time of passed before the remaining assault team reached an end in the tunnel. At the perimeter of the area now known as Site B, the team came under assault again from a smaller number of SCP-610 that were much larger in size.
I would expect
these infected appeared in the tunnel as if they were lying in wait for the approaching team. These creatures were dispatched using the flame unit, although all fuel for this unit was expended in this act.
It's just not going good, bro. I would hate to be the flame unit. I would also hate to be the 2 guys with the flame unit that's like, we're probably going to be screwed if there's another assault. This thing can craft, it can literally basically make like flesh golems. So what do you do without flame units, bro?
The assault team was now limited to standard weapons and short-range personal flame units.
Short range.
A time lapse of 5 minutes is allowed to pass before the team.
There's no way you don't obviously know the flesh's weakness, and don't send them in with like heavily armed flame units. I know that also. I think about it in the terms of like, they want to still be nimble. But I would imagine your very nimble team that goes in with you would be the individuals that are going to sort of protect the person, you know, decked out in the heavier, like, I don't know, propane tanks and stuff, whatever, for flame. But I'd imagine the flame unit would be sort of like the king of the hill, and then every unit around them would be like the ones that keep him safe, and then the flame unit can do like big damage from kind of behind the line, sort of.
Further into Site B, cautious of further assaults by SCP-610 infected.
Like
the tunnel widens out into what appears to have once been a village of
like no Molotovs on them.
Indeterminate age. The construction of the buildings in this area are primitive compared to the settlements of Site A and Site C, and are clearly human construction. Many buildings rest at angles or slants, suggesting that they were disturbed by a cave-in. Of interest is a building that appears to be a church with a working clock tower. This building is built atop the remains of two older buildings that have fallen completely, and has visibly stable foundation.
I'm so glad I came back to watch this, by the way, guys. Send me SCP reactions and that. Please DM me though, if you can, on anything. But leave them in the comments if you can't.
Surrounding all structures in this area is a depression in the ground filled with a substance resembling a liquefied form of 610 fleshy materials. The pool moves as if acted upon by minute and unseen forces, rippling outward from invisible contact points and rolling in waves from unfelt winds. The team avoids this pool at all times and proceeds through the ruins slowly, on stable foundations where possible, making the church their target area.
Please don't skip the video.
Within the church are pews, as would be expected. However, there are only 4, one of them shattered, when the building could accommodate as many as 20. The 3 intact pews are arranged in a 2-1 formation facing a pulpit. There is no trace of dust on any surface, the entire area appearing to be immaculately clean, given the location and believed age. Behind the pulpit is a hole in the floor exposing an area of SCP-610 pool beneath the building. The church and ruins appear to be uninhabited, and exploration of the church proper is uneventful until the clock tower bell tolls. The tolling triggers a shudder in the building, followed by a human screams from the ceiling. Lights shone upon the ceiling reveal a large mass of 610, from which descend a series of 6 wooden circles. Strapped to each circle is a living human coated entirely from neck to toe in 610, but having an exposed head which appears uninfected. These human captives scream as the bell continues to toll and the circles move to the ground. The team begins to move toward one to investigate when an unknown creature cries from outside the building, prompting them to take cover in shadows near the pulpit. Light sources are extinguished, pitching the entire area into darkness. Night vision is left off to avoid revealing the team's location. Sounds continue to emit from the outside of the church, drawing closer but lower than the frantic screams of the captive humans. At least one notices the team as the captive humans often called out to be saved. From the entrance to the church, a candle lights on the side of the doorway, and then one on the other side. A figure is seen holding a small torch and moving back and forth between a series of candles to light the doorway. The flame is then applied to a rope coated in 610, which quickly ignites and spreads up to the peculiar chandelier system at the church entrance. The light from the system illuminates most of the crosses, but does not reach the team's hiding place. Those captives who appear in the light do not show standard signs of the beige-coloured 610 infection, but instead are wrapped in a red variant of it, which shows signs of constant motion, rippling across itself in waves. From outside the church, a flood of 610
My imagination's crazy. I can see it, dude.
infected shamble quickly into the area, ignoring the man who lit the candles and stands in the middle of the room. They proceed to the captives on the wooden circles and
see Molotovs. Molotov, the whole church. Molotov. Fuck it, we got the source. Molotov. It's probably connected to like the church of the... I forgot what it is in the SCP lore. It's been a minute, but... Molotov. Shoot the candle out his hand. Molotov.
begin to pull at the red 610 masses, resulting in further screams and cries. From what can be gathered from the return video feed, the red SCP-610 seems to be connected to the captives and is using them as a source of sustenance that it then uses to grow and feed the normal 610 infected. Overly zealous infected
This was the thumbnail.
tear at the red mass too hard, which results in pulling skin and tissue from the human captives beneath. This exposed area is quickly covered over by the red mass, which then grows in size. Feeding like this continues for approximately 6 minutes, at which time
the drawing is so good. The dude looks in agony, bro.
candle-bearing figure sounds a gong, and all infected entities move to the pews. There are several more creatures than seats, but none move past the frontmost pews. The figure who sounded the gong does not move, spontaneously collapsing as if made from hollow clay. From the pulpit area, activity is noticed as a pillar of SCP-610 flesh
Molotovs
rises through the hole and extends, directing itself towards the gathered creatures. No sound is heard and no motion is recorded once the pillar stops moving. This silent period persists for 10 minutes without even human captors making a sound, having fallen silent at an unknown point. The pillar of SCP-610 retracts back into the hole it emerged from without any warning, prompting the departure of the infected from the building. The candles remain lit and the team emerges after all infected appear to have left the area. The descended captives remain at ground level as well, all screaming seeming to have ceased, but still showing signs of life with heavy breathing and movement. Upon departure from the church, camera feed from all 3 members becomes erratic. Camera 1 ceases transmitting completely, Camera 2 shoots straight up into the air for several meters, and Camera 3 captures the member with Camera 2 being flung by a tendril that emerges out of the ground itself, swinging.
I mean, this doesn't surprise me though. Like, dude, they're in the flesh's domain expansion. What do you do?
Them out of sight onto the other side of the ruins.
What do you do?
Camera 1's feed is restored and displays Camera 3's owner running briefly in the direction of the lost team member, only to turn and run back as SCP-610 infected pour from between the buildings.
Right.
Combat ensues between the 2 members and the onrushing infected, using assault rifles and personal flame units, successfully driving back enough of the horde to make an escape towards the buggy. Passing by a building, Camera 1's owner is ambushed by a figure resembling the figure who was in the church lighting candles, wielding a large crop scythe. Camera 3's owner continues without pause towards the buggy location.
That is such a cool drawing. That is such a cool drawing. To have the reflection in the scythe and that is such a cool drawing.
Found half absorbed by the SCP-610 mass covering the floor. While turning to find another way to escape, Camera 3's owner turns to find the same figure with a scythe approaching, weapon raised. 2 shots are fired and the camera feed ends. 5 hours later, while final decisions were underway to decide how to contain or eradicate the SCP-610 threat, time-delayed video feed from the lost team members who fell into the underground river currents was established and has been filed in SCP-610-L6. Part 4 will be coming out soon. Be sure to check out my Facebook and Twitter to get updates, and if you can't wait that long, then consider becoming a Patreon to help make this channel my career. You'll get access to images for the next videos they're completed, Patreon-exclusive news about collabs, SCP request priority, your own sketches, and so much more. And special thanks to Ethan.
I think these ones are old, 6 years ago, but man, go, show him support, of course. Anybody's videos I watch, but dude, sick drawings. As always, I'm really glad that I came back now during this spooky time to watch some SCPs. I think it's the perfect timing for them. The Flesh That Hates is a good way to dive back into this, because that's just fucking disgusting. Maybe I stopped a long time ago because of that. I don't know. Nah, nothing really can scare me off like that. But much love in Moonlight. I'll see you guys for part 4. These will be in my SCP playlist, but I'm sure you guys won't have a hard time finding them. Also, if anyone ever wants to put my videos in a playlist too, feel free. That I would actually appreciate that a lot. All right, see y'all. Peace.